All right, guys. So obviously we're having a blitz day today, so thank you for taking time out of your day, coming down here. A couple of housekeeping items. We're going to make a lot of calls today, be productive, work on best practices. So the point of today is to get better than what we're currently doing. I'm going to highlight a couple of results, and then I'm going to talk about why we're in this position. Okay. So first of all, where are you right now? So how do you feel when you leave work every single day? Are you impacting the lives of those around you? And then lastly, what are you afraid of? Okay, so here I pulled the information going back to May 15th of the amount of calls made per BAM, the amount of leads generated by those calls, and then so far this month, our CRU to goal. So if you look here, we've got some pretty underwhelming numbers here. The amount of calls made by each BAM, the amount of leads generated, and then of course your conversion percentage. Now where we want to be is in the 5 to 10% conversion rate for the calls to leads. So right here, big outlier, Waukesha is 413 calls, 0 leads dispositioned into 2020. Standout, Sturdivant, Daniil, 376 calls, 11 leads generated for a 3% conversion. You go over here and you look at where we're at month to date. So this is telling us a picture of what are our calls doing? Are they effective, the calls that we're making? Are we able to leverage those calls into leads and opportunities? If not, then why? What are we doing to change our habits of how we're making those calls to get better each day? And then you look over here, total CRU to goal. So a couple of standout stores. We've got West Milwaukee with 18 on a goal of 35 for 51% to goal so far this month. And then we got a couple stores in the 40s. Waukesha 12 on 27, and then Southridge 11 on 26. The rest of us are really struggling. So that's why I wanted to put something together, get you guys in the room to understand where we're at and where we need to go. How do we get better? Last month we averaged 20 CRU per store as a district. So far this month, we're averaging 6.8 CRU per district. We're not trending to average 1.2. We're not barely trending 10 CRU per store. Okay? So, how do we get better? Do we focus on the sucky beginning of this month, or do we focus on how we get better going from here? All right, so why are you here? Do you make excuses for misses? Are you willing to do what others are not? And then have you mapped out your goals? So first, do you make excuses? Well, I just didn't have time to get to my calls. I got hung up on. I was really busy today. I didn't have time to get to my calls. I didn't have the amount of time to prep for my calls. Are you willing to do the work that others aren't? That's why you're in this position. Do you want the compensation that comes with your position? And are you willing to put in that hard work, that effort that others aren't necessarily willing to put in to get you where you want to go? And then have you mapped out your goals? Do you know what you want? Not just in this position, but in life. What's your next step? What's the next step for Ben? What's the next step for Kate? What's the next step for Jules? If you haven't done that, then you're spinning your wheels. Where do you want to go? When you go on a trip somewhere, you don't just start driving. You map a destination, you figure out how you're going to get there. We need to do that same thing here in this role and in your personal lives. What do you want to do? Let us help you get there. So where do you want to be? What are your 6-month, 1-year, and 5-year goals or plans? Get those up on a vision board so that you can visualize them and see them every single day. You know what you're working towards every single day. Might sound corny. Some of you might have a smirk on your face, but it's real. If you're looking at those goals every single day and you're reminded, okay, my 5-year goal is to buy this house. My 1-year goal is to buy this car. My 6-month goal is to get my license. Whatever it is, if you see those every single day, you know you're working towards it. A goal without a plan is obviously nothing but a dream. Like I said in the previous slide, if you haven't mapped out your path to get there, it's not going to happen. Does your preparation match your talent? So a while ago, when I first started with Spring, Nate Glinsky pulled me aside and said, you remind me a lot of myself. Very talented, you can just wing things. You don't have to prep for it. But what if you added preparation to your talent? If you prepared for every interaction, if you prepared for every meeting to go along with your talent, how much more impactful would that be for yourself and for those around you? So are you just winging these calls because you're talented, or are you prepping? Okay, what if I get this scenario? What if I get this scenario? Are you putting the work into each call? So what would happen if you combined better preparation with your talent? The man on the top of the mountain didn't fall there. Vince Lombardi. How did he get there, Travis?
Hard work.
Worked his way up there, right? All right, so your compensation. So what's your bonus for this month? Based on?
Entertainment.
Store entertainment, right? So for Band Ones, for most of you besides Anthony in this room, it's $200 for your store bonus. Okay? If you hit your entertainment. And then Anthony, of course, it's $150. CRUs, all right, so this is the breakdown of where you need to be. 80%. How many in the room are at 80% currently? None of you. We had one person, the highest was 50-some%. That means nobody's getting paid their band bonuses. Hopefully this is hitting home. We've got to make changes to get to where we need to be. You get to 80%, what happens?
$14.
$14 per CRU. Get to 90%, what happens? $30. And you get to 100%, what happens? All right. So guys, what is stopping? What's stopping us from getting to where we need to be? I want to talk about that today. We are Whistling. We are Wisconsin South. We are the central market. But in this room, we are the BAMs in Wisconsin South. The store managers have their group. They have their culture that they have within there. I want that same thing in the BAMs. I want to spend more time as a group so that we can do things, so that we can figure out who we are. We can have that same relationship amongst each other that the store managers have, that the DMs of the region have, that the DMs of the region have in the market. We need to have that identity so that we can move forward. And lastly, I've got a video for you guys.
Forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect.